Good day, friends, family, fellow tech giants, creatives, and innovative minds. And you're welcome to today's episode of Cinnamon and Fire, where we bring you real stories from bold builders in Africa and the diaspora making waves in their fields. I am the host, DK Manuel Jr. Merimoth, and it is a pleasure today to have with us Jesse Amamgbu. Please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ike. I'm Jesse. I would say I'm a Swiss Army knife, so I cut across both data and DevOps space, right? I have over 6 years of industry experience. I worked in various industries like fintech, telecoms, the research sector. I would say I love building. I'm a builder. I have also a knack for curiosity. I also love to give back to the community, right? So when I'm not basically firefighting, I try to mentor junior DevOps engineers or data science professionals, right? So just trying to get them up to speed with the current industry standards and how things are basically done in this space. Aside that, I love to play football. I also love to watch football. I'm a die-hard Chelsea fan, so yeah, that's all there is about me.
Okay. Is it okay if I ask how long you've been a Chelsea fan for?
Since I was 5.
Yay. So I'm thinking this season is looking up for you guys more than the last one.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully.
I think Champions League.
I mean, everything is possible. Everything. Who knows?
Actually. Okay. Yeah. So I think I'll start by asking what got you into the DevOps space. Is it something that you always wanted to do? Is it something that kind of you developed a passion for as time proceeded, as time progressed?
Yeah, I would say I developed a passion for DevOps as time proceeded. So coming from a data science background, I remember back in the days I would be in charge of building machine learning models, or maybe handling some data scripting tasks, right? Doing a lot of feature engineering or data pre-processing. And one thing that I just could not reconcile at the time was, how did this get to the cloud? How were we able to serve this to the end users? So I guess that's led me down a rabbit hole, where I was able to develop that curiosity and that passion for what happens in a terminal. And I think that's what drove my decision to go into DevOps, because when I was able to discover how things worked, I basically fell in love with the process, right? So yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to highlight the statement of you being a Swiss Army knife. Yeah, I really think that there are kind of conflicting perspectives when I speak to even professionals in different fields. Music space, for instance, and I'm somebody who likes to term myself as eclectic. I do different genres. So when I speak to people, they always tell me you might be confusing your audience, or you might be overcrowding yourself with too much things. You should stick to one thing. Do you advise being a Swiss Army knife for other professionals, or do you think that's just particular to you, or depending on the individual?
I mean, I don't believe in you can decide to stick with just one thing, but I believe in trying to optimize every process that's or every domain that you find yourself into, right? So having additional knowledge in other things, it's fine, because that way it sets you apart in a way, right? So I'm not saying, go and do 50 different things at once, right? But just make it very streamlined and focus on those things, right? Dedicate portion of your hours on these things. And I mean, it might take longer to be maybe a subject expert in just one of them, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's worth it, because you can always infuse the knowledge you get from the both of them to handle different tasks.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. Okay, thank you. What are some of the tasks that you say what is your workflow looking like on a particular project or something that you're working on as a data scientist or DevOps?
Okay, so first things first, I think it's all about understanding the business need, or what's the client, right, that you're working for, or width actually need for that project. So sometimes we tend to want to overcomplicate like things. We want to build like a lot of crazy features, but then what you probably need is something simple. So first thing is understanding their needs, streamlining them, right? Getting maybe like 3 or 4 maybe key takeaways from that, and then developing like a simple like architecture, right, around how you want to approach this problem. And from there, you make use of the tools like in your inventory. So for me, my go-to tools are Python, right? Because I'll say I'm a Python fanboy right from time, because I love like its versatility, right? These days I also use Go, right? But I would say Python. In the DevOps space, just to keep things like lean and very compact, I would say Terraform for infrastructure as code. If you're doing maybe configuration management, things that have to do with maybe setting things up here and there, and you want to keep things lean, I would say make use of, say, tools like Ansible, or follow like the whole GitOps principles if you're mainly like in the whole Git like space, workspace, right?
Right.
In terms of like data science, I'll say Python, TensorFlow. You definitely will make use of a lot of the new models out there, right? The OpenAI and a whole lot of that. So yeah, it's vast. It depends on the use case. So yeah.
Wow. You said a lot. I'm trying to remember TensorFlow, Python. You're giving me a lot of things to research. So I see from the research that I did about you that you schooled in University of Ilorin.
Yeah.
So my question is, how? First of all, did you actually study what it is that you're doing now? One. Number two, do you think that experience, or how do you think that experience helped set you up or get you ready for the tasks or the workspace that you're in now? And then three, how relevant do you think a post-secondary education is to, getting somebody who is interested in getting in the field as well? I'm getting them ready for the experience.
So I would say I wasn't always doing like data science or DevOps back then in school, right?
Okay.
I came from like an engineering background, so it was more around control. I majored in like control systems, right? So then we were all about like assembly language, programming. We were around basically hardware programming, right? But I think I would say I got curious, right? Curiosity led me down that path, right? Where I saw like some peers would make WhatsApp bots at the time, right? To handle a couple of tasks. You go and approach them and you get insights into, I used Python to build this, I used PHP to do this, and here and there. And I would say, it led me down that path where I had to do my research myself, right? And just basically get into the field. I would say once I got into it, I fell in love with it. I developed that passion, and it's what stuck with me over the years.
Okay.
And so for Unilearning, how it prepared me, I usually make this joke that if you can go through the University of Ilorin, right, whatever life has to throw at you next, like I'm sure it won't be as stressful.
I think that's particularly to Ilorin, because most people that go to university in Nigeria are like, man, if you went to but
I don't know, but I haven't been to other universities, but relating to my own case as an engineering student there, I would say it was interesting. We were grilled to that point where we were able to make sense out of things, right? So I would say it's kind of like prepared me, like intellectually. I was also able to collaborate with like minds. A lot of my friends today that are doing amazing work, I met some of them like in the university. So, and it's cool because we knew each other from way back, and one thing I noticed, they always had that like raw passion, and it's even translated to what they're doing today. You understand?
Right.
So I'd say the university gives you that space to kind of like interact with persons of like minds. You're also able to develop like intellectually. You're also able to have that sense of freedom because you're able to like express yourself. You're able to delve into like different fields, right? Not just also like what you're currently maybe studying, right? Because you have that foundational knowledge which you need to actually like take or make decisions. I think that's what the university kind of gives you.
Right. Okay. Agreed. So what are there any particular issues or problems in the space that you work in that you would say is your driving force and really makes you passionate about what it is that you do?
Yeah, I would say fraud detection. As someone that has fallen into the hands of scammers in the past, right? I would say, yeah, I was in dire need of money then, and I still got swindled. That was the painful part. So I would say it's
online.
Huh?
It happened online.
Yeah, it happened online. Yeah. So I would say it's basically birthed like a fire in me, right? That no, I do not want like Africa or Africans, right, to be known for this, right?
Right.
I wanted to basically like change the narrative, right? And be that driving force towards how we can kind of like mitigate these things, and also equally like creating opportunities where persons that are coming up to would not have like a story to tell, just like I did, right? So yeah, I would say that drove me.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, and which kind of leads me to my next question, because yes, fraud, most things that you create, apps that are in use now, you require KYC, and just that KYC alone, people's personal information there's so much that can be done with that now, especially with the advent of AI and things like that. So I think that is actually a very important factor or space that's fraud detection, like you mentioned. So I think my next question would be, how important is it to keep up to speed with like the developments, especially with AI now mentioned and like so many things going on? How important would you say it is to keep updating your experience or your skill sets in the space that you work in?
Okay, so for that, I would say basically 5 years ago, right? Just few persons knew much about like AI, and here today, it's basically what we live and breathe, right? I would say in this space or in the tech space at large, how to stand apart is basically always having that knack for information, always keep yourself updated, read blogs, read articles, right? Watch tutorials, right? You can never go wrong. Basically keep yourself updated with like industry news, because that's one way to make sure that your skills are transferable and your skills are up to date with what is being used. I'm so sure like I usually make this joke about like PHP developers, no shade to them, but I'm so sure nobody thought that in the nearest like future, like PHP won't be what is being used to control the web, right? Compared to like back in the days where if you did not know PHP, like you were not serious with starting web dev. But right now, like people barely use it. So yeah, so it's all about like keeping yourself up to date, right? Looking at what's trending, not only what's trending, what would also stick, right? Also having like that foundational knowledge, right? Brush up in like your data structures and algorithms. Make sure you basically just stretch yourself, right? Though not too thin, but just stretch yourself and try to assimilate as much as you can. So yeah.
Okay. With how popular tech is becoming worldwide now, I have so many people and friends and family who I see are starting to veer into that space or considering veering into that space. So I think my next question would be, what advice would you offer someone who is eager to get into the tech space but does not have a background or foundational, has little to no knowledge about the tech space?
Okay, so I would say look at the tech space as a tool for leverage rather than as an end game, right? So coming from like a different background, right? Look for solutions or problems that exist within your space, and then you can now have a conversation about using tech to solve that. Because with that part, you're not you're learning more about your field, more about your space. You're solving a problem there, right, while still remaining in that domain, but just using tech as a tool to basically handle that, right? So but if you were to make that full switch, I would say just start from the basics, right? I mean, nobody, you literally miss the shots you don't take, right? Start from the basics. Just try to take things one step at a time. Where you feel stuck, try to find like a community of experts or even beginners that you can always get into, right? And basically you develop yourself from there, and you're able to set yourself apart.
Wow. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Jesse Amamgbu. It has been a very insightful conversation with you. For our listeners, watchers around the world, thank you so much for watching. Please go subscribe to our YouTube channel and like. This is Cinnamon&Fire, like we said, where we put a spotlight on Africans in the diaspora or in Africa who are making waves and blazing trails responsibly in their fields of work. And it was a pleasure to talk with Mr. Jesse Amamgbu today. Can you just maybe give us some ending words, and also maybe where people can network with you, and maybe any of the tools, not tools, but like if there are any apps or if there's anything that you have been influential in developing, so that we can keep up to speed with those as well?
Oh, okay. All right. So you can reach out to me on LinkedIn, Jesse Amamgbu, right? And I'll say closing words. I don't really have so much to say, but I'll say just like I had mentioned before, you miss the shots you don't take, right? Don't be scared of trying new things, right? You can try 101 things, but 100 might fail, but that one that you're able to get right would actually take you so far, and you're going to learn from your journey. So don't be scared of failing, right? Because it's only then that you can actually learn and truly grow, right? And I would say also try to be loud about what you do, right? Because we all have this notion that people know everything that we know, but that's not it, right? The more you are able to talk about what you do, the more you find out that a whole lot of persons actually do not know what you know. Yeah. So be loud about that. And yeah, in terms of, I'm definitely going to plug Doja on. So for your identity management and all of that stuff, so definitely check Doja out, right? It's a one-stop shop for all of that, right? Fraud detection and a whole lot of things. The CEO over there is doing an amazing job. So yeah, you can always check us out. And yeah.
So what did you call it out? What did you call that? Doja?
Yeah, Doja.
D-O-J-A?
H. Yeah.
D-O-J-A-H.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much again for having a very, very insightful conversation with us, Mr. Jesse Amamgbu. I look forward to checking out Doja and seeing how, just experiencing some of the problems that you have solved as well. And for those who are watching, you can follow us at Cinnamon, and also check in with Jesse Amamgbu on LinkedIn. It's been a pleasure to have you. I look forward to seeing you at the top, and I'm thankful to God that I have a recording here so that I can show it to people. Yeah, I know this, brother.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, take care.
All right. Yeah, God bless.
Yeah, bye-bye.